Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, November 30th, 2022. Before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe, and tap notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Also, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather in your area has been like recently. Feel free to also ask what the weather will be like in your specific area. I respond to all the comments and I really live for this interaction. Alright, so let us take a look at the significant feature map across the Atlantic for this evening. We see that we have a cold front right there situated across the eastern United States. We have a cold front stretching from the middle of the Atlantic all the way down, touching the Bahamas. And we have a trough situated right to the east of the Caribbean. Alright, so let us take a look at what was forecast for today, yesterday, across Jamaica. So it said that the ECMWF and GFS supercomputer models are in agreement that sections of most parishes in Jamaica could receive morning rainfall on Wednesday. And we indeed had that morning rainfall. If we actually take a look at the satellite images posted this morning, we saw where those clouds came in on the north coast, and then some of that even spilled into sections of some southern parishes. So there we have Clarendon receiving some afternoon rainfall, maybe portions of St. Elizabeth and Manchester, just as predicted. Even in the wee evening hours, we still had some clouds coming in from the northeast to affect portions of Portland, which also spilled into sections of St. Thomas as well. Alright, moving on, let's talk about the forecast for tomorrow. We see that we're still having a lot of wind coming in from the windward passage that's in between Cuba and Haiti. Lots of wind coming down, and we know what happens. Lots of relief rainfall from the north coast again. Lots of strong winds. Anywhere from between 15 to 25 knots is expected across the island. Okay? That's on the north coast according to the Euro. The GFS is showing something similar. And as such, the rainfall prediction, the accumulated rainfall prediction for the island for tomorrow shows majority of the north coast receiving majority of the rainfall. So anywhere from 1 inch or above could get some rainfall across portions of Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, even spilling into portions of St. Thomas. That's according to the Euro. The GFS is showing something very similar. And with all this rainfall, there's a chance that isolated flash flooding, maybe some mudslides could be possible, especially along the hilly inland areas of those rural areas, maybe in the hills or the mountain sides. So please take the necessary precautions that you guys are not affected that drastically. And it makes sense that our forecasters here at Weather Jamaica made a prediction this evening. It was stated that more rainfall is predicted to affect portions of northern and eastern Jamaica tonight into the morning of Thursday, December 1st, 2022, according to the ECMWF and GFS supercomputer models. If you reside on the north coast, bring an umbrella with you if you must go out tomorrow. And the same maps with just different colors, showing the abundance of rainfall that's expected across portions of northern and eastern Jamaica according to the Euro and GFS. Alright, so that's it for the forecast, the weather report and forecast across Jamaica. Let's talk about the Atlantic hurricane season. Considering that today is November 30th, today is the last day of the hurricane season, let's take a look, shall we? So we saw that we had up to 14 named storms all the way from Alex to Nicole. Okay, 14 storms, the average is 14. So I guess we had an average hurricane season, even although majority of the news outlets and the universities and the major organizations were forecasting an above normal season. We had 8 hurricanes, even although the average is 7. And we had 2 major hurricanes, even although we were forecasting more than 3. Okay, and we're grateful that it was average and not above average like what 2020 or 2017 or 2005 had in store, because we really cannot take that kind of weather at all. Nobody can. Alright, so here we have the various tracks. Lots of these storms came in across the Caribbean, affecting portions of many places. Even if they didn't get direct hits, there was some amount of rainfall, just like what we got in Jamaica. We were affected by Ian. Look how far Ian was away from us. Ian was so far away from us. If we actually look at Ian's life cycle, his lifespan, look at the clouds, look how far his center is to the south of Jamaica, And we remember how badly Ian damaged portions of the island, especially with a lot of flooding rainfall. And then he got himself together into a hurricane and then moved into the Western Caribbean, strengthened to a major hurricane, and then, you know, crossed into Florida. So even Jamaicans in Florida were really severely impacted by that storm. And that is what it's all about. It only takes one storm to really affect an area and make it seem like a bad hurricane season in general, even although it wasn't really a bad one at all. It was just an average hurricane season. Okay, so it only really takes one storm for the entire season to be bad. Alright, so let us take a look back at the significant feature map, because we're looking at the visible satellite image again. So we can see that cold front right there of the southeastern US. We can see that trough right there to the east of the Caribbean, just like what we saw there. So we don't really have much in the way of clouds or rainfall right now. Maybe some rainfall pushing into portions of Costa Rica and Nicaragua. Lots of rain right there in the intertropical convergence zone in the main development region. Nothing imminent, nothing to talk about. We're entering our dry season at this time. And the wind direction and the wind speeds across the Caribbean for tomorrow, so anywhere between 15 to 20 knots, with a northeasterly flow across portions of the Greater Antilles and an east-northeasterly flow across portions of the Eastern Caribbean. That's according to both the Euro and the GFS. And we're starting to lose all of those oranges and yellows and reds. So all of those warm above normal temperatures are leaving. We're starting to get temperatures, normal temperatures. So the zeros, when we start dipping into the blues now, we start getting the below normal. This is for 1 p.m. on Thursday. And every day after that, Friday onward, seems like we're starting to get into the below normal temperature range across much of the Caribbean, according to the Euro and the GFS. But we're just gonna show for tomorrow right now. This is just the beginning. If we actually look at the next 24 hours in terms of precipitation, however, we see where all of that rainfall will be affecting portions of northern Jamaica, even portions of Hispaniola getting in on some of that rainfall as well, even portions of the northeastern Caribbean. So islands such as, let's say, St. Bart's, Anguilla could be getting in on some rainfall. That's according to the Euro. We still have some rainfall across portions of Barbados, Grenada, maybe even Tobago getting in on some rainfall, as well as the ABC Islands. And we still have a lot of rainfall for portions of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and even Colombia getting in on some of that rainfall. That's according to the Euro. And look at this. The GFS is showing something very similar, putting Trinidad into the mix as well. Lots of rain for portions of Central America. So they still have a lot of rain to receive, and the cold front and the wind and the relief rainfall still to affect portions of the northern Greater Antilles Islands. So I hope that we all, you know, take necessary precautions so that we're not affected that drastically. Thank you all for watching. Please ensure that you guys like the video, comment, subscribe. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye now.